Hey everyone, Nick Rabar here. We just banged out a perfect turkey, carved to perfection, and now nothing goes better with turkey than authentic natural pan gravy. So, you take your turkey, you remove it, save everything from in here. Save everything. I took it and I poured the contents out into this glass vessel so you can see where your great juices are and where your fats are. You want to let that sit for just a couple minutes until they separate, and then you want to remove that fat. Use a tiny ladle. Try not to mix the fat back in once it's settled. Some fat is okay. A lot of fat just makes for a greasy pan gravy. And we're going to put about a ladle into our pan over here to make our roux. So roux is our thickening agent. And I'm going to use some of the natural turkey drippings, some of the natural turkey fat, and I'm also going to add a little bit of butter for flavor. And I'm going to take a little bit of all-purpose flour. This fat flour mixture, known as roux, is a very old world style, a very old world thickening agent. It's the only one I use, and it's so simple to make. And whisk kind of aggressively. You want somewhere between blonde and brown, without getting too dark and without scorching. Scorching is very bad. You scorch your roux, all your pan gravy is going to be scorched. So this is going to take probably 3 or 4 minutes to cook. You can see how this roux got nice and thick. That is going to thicken up our natural reduction. It's a 2-pan process here where you want to incorporate this. See all that nice, see how it's nice in that, just as I said, a little combination of blonde and brown. Going to incorporate this delicious natural flavor from the bird itself into that roux and make sort of the base sauce for the mother sauce here. All right, perfect. Now that looks great. See how it's nice and thick? It doesn't look like pan gravy consistency. It's still a little on the thick side. That's just fine. This will incorporate into this pan here. Now you have your natural pan. This is where you cooked your turkey. So you still have those little delicious brown bits in there. We're going to do what's known as deglazing. Those bits are all the flavor. And I'm going to just put in a little white wine and just scrape. I add the white wine just for a little bit of depth and flavor. You can deglaze with stock if you don't want the wine. But I'm going to cook all the alcohol out of this wine before we serve it. Now, you can see how the pan a minute ago looked dirty and now it looks clean. We got all that delicious sort of turkey essence scraped off, a little fresh herb, thyme, bay leaf, keep it simple. Pan gravy is best when it's simple, when it tastes like turkey. Bring that to a boil. So you can see in the pan here how the wine's not clear anymore. It took on some of that color as well. Really beautiful. And now I'm going to go in with some chicken broth. It would be great if you could get all your pan drippings and use that as your pan gravy, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't yield enough. You need to stretch it out with something either homemade or store-bought, and truthfully, store-bought stocks work just fine for this application. So now that we've got a little bit more yield, I'm going to go in with our huge flavor here, our thickened natural reduction, and I'm going to fold that in. Now, I had my broth boiling to the side. You should definitely have your broth boiling. It will save you time, but it's not detrimental. Be careful before you add all this in. It might get too thick, which isn't the end of the world. You could just add a little bit more broth or even a touch of water because this is going to be so flavorful now. See, I love the look of that. And I don't strain it. You may want to. I just work around the herbs. I mean, that's just spectacular. And this used all the natural flavors from the turkey. This used all the natural drippings, all the little bits that were stuck to the pan. Then a little bit of butter, then a little bit of fresh herb, and exactly what we were shooting for color and for consistency. Exactly what we were shooting for color and for consistency. And that is going to be amazing. Now, I'm going to add just a pinch of salt and pepper. You may want to taste it first, because if you season your bird well, your reduction is going to be so salty. And look at that. How unbelievably gorgeous. Perfection. That's just the consistency you want. You want it to coat the back of a spoon. As you can see where it was and where it is now. Coats it perfectly. It's not going to run when it hits the plate like broth. It's not going to stick to it like cement. And I'm going to prove it to you right now by taking some of this gorgeous turkey and just pouring that perfect hot pan gravy over top. It's okay if your turkey gets a little cool. Your gravy will heat it up. Look at that. Absolutely perfect, natural pan gravy. Absolutely perfect turkey breast. This came out spectacular. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Until we meet again, keep on cooking.